Top 10 Famous Battles. World War I was one of the deadliest and most transformative conflicts in human history. But within this devastating war, there were pivotal moments that changed the course of history forever. Top 10 Famous Battles of World War I, 1914 to 1918. The war began in 1914, with Europe plunging into conflict following the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. But it wasn't just the political tensions that would shape the war, these battles would ultimately define the future of nations and the lives of millions. 1. The Battle of the Marne, 1914. One of the first major battles of World War I, the Battle of the Marne, took place in September 1914. The German army had advanced deep into France, and Paris was in danger. But in a desperate counterattack, the French and British forces pushed the Germans back. The result? The start of trench warfare, and a battle for survival on both sides. Though neither side claimed a clear victory, the Battle of the Marne was crucial. It marked the end of the Germans' hopes for a quick victory, and it solidified the Western Front as a grueling stalemate. 2. The Battle of Verdun, 1916. In 1916, the Germans launched an offensive to bleed France white. Verdun, a fortified city, was their target. What followed was one of the longest and most brutal battles in history, lasting nearly 10 months. The French forces, determined not to lose their homeland, held Verdun at any cost. The phrase "they shall not pass" became a symbol of their resilience. In the end, over 700,000 soldiers were killed or wounded. 3. The Battle of the Somme, 1916. The Battle of the Somme began on July 1, 1916. The Allies aimed to break through the German lines, but the initial assault proved disastrous. On that first day alone, nearly 60,000 British soldiers were either killed or wounded, making it one of the bloodiest days in British military history. Despite these early setbacks, the battle continued until November. It saw the first use of the tank on the battlefield, though the Allies gained only a few miles of territory. The battle would result in over 1 million casualties, highlighting the brutal and unyielding nature of trench warfare. 4. The Battle of Gallipoli, 1915 to 1916. In 1915, the Allies launched an ambitious campaign at Gallipoli, hoping to knock the Ottoman Empire out of the war. But what followed was one of the greatest Allied failures of the conflict. The Gallipoli Campaign was a disaster, with high casualties, especially among Australian and New Zealand troops, now known as the Anzacs. After months of brutal fighting, the Allies were forced to evacuate, leaving the Ottomans victorious. 5. The Battle of Tannenberg, 1914. At the same time, in the east, the Battle of Tannenberg unfolded in late August 1914. The Russians were advancing into German territory, but they were met with a crushing counterattack. The Germans encircled and destroyed nearly an entire Russian army, killing or capturing over 90,000 soldiers.